Welcome back. Hope you had a good time practicing. Let's review the C chord. You put your third finger in the 1, 2, 3, third fret on the first string. So it'll be just like this. Strum all 4 strings. Just let it glide right over just like that. Let's try 4 of them. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. And that would be 4 quarter notes. You remember we played quarter notes. Quarter notes are the ones with the filled in circle and the stem. Okay, just a reminder, a whole note is an open circle. A half note is an open circle with a stem. A quarter note is a filled in circle with a stem. And then we're going to get into eighth notes next time. Okay, so this is Row, Row, Row Your Boat. And you'll notice that the ukulele plays on the top line and you sing the second line. And if we are to play this, it would just be 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, ready, go. And it just keeps going like that. So let's try it with the accompaniment. 1, 2, ready, play.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Here is Three Blind Mice. On this one, you play 3 quarter notes and then a quarter rest. So your pattern would sound like this. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. All right, let's try it. 1, 2, ready, play.
3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, see how they run, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife, who chased them round with a carving knife. Did ever you see such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice?
Okay, it's time we learn a new chord, and that chord is a G chord. And if you look at the chord chart, you see that you put your first finger on the 3rd string in the 2nd fret, your 2nd finger in the 2nd fret on the 1st string, and your 3rd finger in the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. And that's a G chord. And you push down nice and strong. You want to make sure that your fingers are right behind the fret, because if you go on top, you might get that sound. If you go too far behind, it doesn't always work either. So press down firmly. Make sure you don't let them lay down like that, because you get that kind of sound. And there's your G chord. So here's a pattern we'd like to play on the G chord. Let's start by making the G chord. Put your first finger in the 3rd string in the 2nd fret, your 2nd finger in the 2nd fret on the 1st string, and your 3rd finger in the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. And then let them ring through, and that is a G chord. All right. Let's play this pattern. Let's count. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's try it with the accompaniment. 1, 2, ready, play. Here is a song called Day Is Done. It's also referred to as taps. And we're going to play it on a G chord. So let's make our G chord. Make sure it rings. And then notice the pattern is just 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can play that. All right, let's try it together with the accompaniment. 1, 2, ready, play. Rest, rest, rest.
Day is done, gone the sun, from the lake, from the hills, from the sky. All is well, safely rest. God is nigh.
Now we have another chord, and that is almost like a G. It's called a G7. And it's not the same though, and it doesn't sound the same, so you have to make sure that you make the difference. You put your first finger in the first fret on the second string, your second finger in the second fret on the third string, and your third finger in the second fret on the first string. And there's a G7. Press down nice and strong, play all four strings. And there is your G7 chord. And if we were to play this, it would go 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that one with the accompaniment. 1, 2, ready, play. Let's see if we can play between a C chord and a G7 chord. We play our C, and then we move to a G7. And then we go back to a C, and then we play our G7. And as you're doing this, I want you to be thinking your C is right here. Leave that third finger down, slide it down. Put this finger here and stick this one right there. But you never actually lift this one up. And slide back up, C to G7, to C to G7, back to C to G7. Then let's play them quickly a couple of times. C to G7, to C to G7. Now we're going to do a tricky one. We have to switch between C and G7. So we play our C, and then we make our G7. And what you don't want to do is tip your ukulele to look at it. Just figure out where they go, look at it from up above. And you'll want to get so you can switch pretty quick. And this should help us. So we're going to count a little slower on this one. And it's going to go 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Switch to G7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Switch back to C. 1, 2, 3. Rest. 1, 2, 3. Switch to G7. 1, 2, 3. Rest. 1, 2, 3. Rest. Switch. Now all those places where I said switch, you've got to make it happen on your own. Okay, now let's try it just a little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, switch. Now let's try it with the accompaniment. 1, 2, ready, go. When your fingers do get sore, you do need to think about taking care of them. And one of the ways you take care of them is if you have a snaggy fingernail, file it so it's smooth. Otherwise it catches and it runs the risk of ripping. And once it rips, then you can rip it down into too low and then it really hurts. And if you get a hangnail, trim that off. Just don't let it sit there because you can catch it and it will hurt too. The other thing is it's nice to use lotion Just don't use lotion before you play the ukulele. That's something you want to do after you play, because otherwise you get buildup on your strings and you get gook all over the ukulele. So if you just think about your fingers a little bit, make sure you wear gloves when it's cold, you'll get so that your fingers don't hurt at all and you can play forever. Another thing we need to talk about with the ukulele is, what do you do with it when you're not playing it? And it's really important that you don't just set it on a chair or set it on the floor. If you set it on the floor, somebody could trip and step on it. If you set it on a chair, it's going to jump off. They always do. The best thing to do with a ukulele when you're not playing it is put it in the case and set it someplace that it won't fall. Well, we've got a lot of songs that we can play now because we have 3 chords that we know. So that lets us play just many, many songs. One of the first songs we're going to play is This Old Man. It only has 2 chords. It's a C and a G7, and we know both of those. Here's the song This Old Man. The ukulele plays the top line, and you sing on the second line. Start with the C chord, then we're going to need a G7, so make sure we're ready with those. Let's try it. 1, 2, ready, play.
This old man, he played one. He played knick-knack on my drum with a knick-knack, paddywhack, give my dog a bone. This old man came rolling home.
Another song we can play because we know 2 chords is Skip to My Lou. It's a C and a G7. The ukulele plays on top and you sing below. Watch the rhythm because there's some rests in this one. 1, 2, ready, play.
Choose your partner, skip to my loo. Choose your partner, skip to my loo. Choose your partner, skip to my loo. Skip to my loo, my darling. Loo, loo, skip to my loo. Loo, loo, skip to my loo. Loo, loo, skip to my loo. Skip to my loo, my darling.
Our last song for today only has 2 chords too, and you know both of those chords, and that is a C and a G, and the song is Lightly Row. Let's try it. 1, 2, ready, and.
Lightly row, o'er the shining waves we go. Smoothly glide on the silent tide. Let the wind and waters be mingled with our melody. Sing and float in our little boat.
Well, that's about it for today. Hope you had a good time. Remember, the more you practice, the better you get. The better you get, the more fun it is.